Yo, what's up, everybody? Quancredible here. Hope you guys are having a great week so far. A little late on this chapter review, lots of stuff happening, but I'm still going to bring it to you guys. Nevertheless, this chapter was really good. Black Clover chapter 205. It definitely seemed to wrap up the flashback quite nicely. Not really too much to talk about here, but I will still go over it and talk about some predictions and there's like one or two very interesting things I noticed that I wanted to discuss or tell you guys. So, like I was saying, it basically picks up right where the last chapter left off with Lich turning into the giant ancient demon monster thing, and Lumiere going to fight him after that. So, one thing that we definitely see in the beginning is a lot of remorse coming from Lumiere. He definitely feels like he doesn't necessarily say it, but there's a panel where he's talking about this is all because of the magical tools he created, which means I'm definitely sure that he himself feels partly responsible for everything that's going on. And then after their initial exchange between Lich and Lumiere, the devil starts to more or less talk about what's happening, and he notes that well, this is a side note. It's very important, like in a lot of the unofficial translations that I read, they got this totally wrong. But in the official one that I'm going off of now, I'll put it up so you guys can see it. Um, he says that if he had taken over the body, that light magic would not have worked on him. Whereas in some of the unofficial translations, they're saying that it would have worked. So that was a big detail that a lot of people have mixed up. But the fact that if he would have taken over Lich's body, that light magic wouldn't have worked means that the devil's pretty overpowered. He's super OP, but this is, we already know this. And after that, Cersei comes back with the magical tool that the devil used to wipe out all of the elves. She comes back and brings that to Lumiere, suggesting that they should use it to absorb his next attack. But Lich in this demon god form, the magical spell was way more than enough to break the tool, and it couldn't even absorb it all. However, he was able to break, I guess, free from the negative mana that was controlling him to give Lumiere an opportunity to kill him. And this is really crazy because if you think about it, in the beginning of the chapter, he said he didn't want to allow Lich to become a murderer, which leads me to believe that that despite all of the destruction that may have went down, Lumiere might have defended the entire royal capital with zero casualties, which is insane to think that he was able to fight this massive beast and no one died. That definitely shows how strong he is. Anyway, after that, the devil tries to leave. However, Nero definitely was like, "Nah, you can't go anywhere," and seals him in this like little like cube box thing. The only reason she was able to do this is she was using the magic. She was using her own magic, and it was being boosted because she was wearing all of the forbidden stones, or not forbidden stones, but the magic stones. However, we hear or we see the devil says that if anybody who isn't loved by mana uses them, they won't even be able to maintain their human shape. But she doesn't care about that, and she ends up like growing the horns that she has when she's the bird form of Nero, I guess. But then I guess I don't know if he was going to do this from the start or if he only got the idea because he's seen Nero do it. But he says, "Come," and he attracts the magic stones that she was using, and then he uses them to cast his own spell to send the elves' souls that are still here. So I guess like a lot of the elves that were dying or not quite dead yet, those were the souls that he sent to the future. So like Veto, Fauna, Raya, Partry, like, and I guess some of the other people that have reincarnated into some of the characters now, he sent all those souls to the future and embedded them with innate hatred. So he literally has puppeteered everything that has happened currently in the story. Like he has 100% set all this up, which is crazy. This devil's like on his eyes and stuff right now. In spite of all that, they were able to, I guess, delay the devil in a sense, just because he had to wait to the future, and they were able to keep Lich's grimoire, which is, I guess, for that moment is a plus. It is a win. After that, Cersei or Nero, however you want to refer to her, she uses the rest, or not the rest, but she uses the magic stones to seal up the prince. And I guess, I don't know if she set the condition for how he's going to awaken, but basically she set it up to where once they gather all the magic stones that they can revive him whenever they need to when the devil comes back. After that, she wakes up in the bird form that we've seen her in throughout the entire story, and she's just been watching over Lich's grimoire. There are a couple of theories about how Asta ended up with him, about how Asta ended up with the grimoire. A couple people say that Nero gave it to him. just so he could hang on to it, and then she could just follow him. There's some other people that say that the grimoire itself chose Asta, which is interesting. I kind of like that one a little bit more, to think that she might have been watching over it, but it chose to go to him for whatever reason. But yeah, there's definitely a bunch of different theories. Needless to say, no matter how Asta ended up with it, there's no way she could take it back in her current form, or in the form she was in, being a bird and all. But anyway, once that's over, the that concludes the flashback, and the very end of this chapter, they jump right back into the main story, where Asta and Partry and come back to where the devil is, and then the devil still's laughing it all off, saying how he's shocked that Partry was able to undo his dark elf transformation. And then literally right after that, the first Wizard King and Cersei appear in front of both of them. So that would be the entire chapter. Like I was saying, takeaways. So most of my theories and stuff I've kind of said intermittently throughout the chapter, but one of the main things I wanted to talk about were the magic stones. So Cersei used those to place that seal on the demon. He used them to, I guess, set everything up, and then she used them again to seal the Wizard King up. Now, how did they necessarily get scattered after that? Like, how did end up with his? How did Fagolion end up with one? How did the witch end up with one? Like, how did they all get scattered? Like, what? Like, they didn't really say anything about that. Like, after she used them, was it like Dragon Ball Z, where they like the Dragon Balls go into the sky and then they spread across the world, or did somebody just walk to the top of the demon skull and just take them and sell them? Like, they, they don't really talk about how they got scattered. So I guess I would like to see what their explanation or theory on that is. Also, the fact that just using them in general, uh, do you actually have to channel your mana through them to use them, or does just wearing them count? Because if this is the case, then that means has technically been boosted by a magic stone this entire time, which I wonder, is that going to affect how strong he is after this whole elf arc is over? The next thing that I'm really curious to see, or can't wait to see, is I definitely want to see the interactions between the first Wizard King and Austin. I think those would be really, really interesting. Like, I could just see it now, his excitement or confusion trying to figure out how he got here, or even who he is. That's going to be funny to see next week. And then also, the thing that I bring up every week is the devil still doesn't even look mildly concerned or worried about anything that's going on right now. He honestly always looks like he could care less, even with the first Wizard King there and Lich there, and Asta with his anti magic, and then half demon, half elf Partry. These captains, he does not seem to care at all. He's still super casual about everything. Like, even when he first sees him, all he says is, "To think I'd be able to reunite with you two as well." It's like, he doesn't look angry, he isn't gasping. He's literally been smiling this entire time. So I guess to see if they have some way to, I guess, put some more pressure on him will be interesting. Like I've said numerous times, I think he's going to escape at the end of this. I don't think that with this huge lineup of powerful characters, I still don't think they'll be able to stop him, and he'll escape to be a later villain. But let me know what you guys think of the chapter. Let me know what you guys think happened to the Magic Stones. Like, do you think they just split away? Someone found them and stole them? I'd love to hear some theories on that, or any other theories you guys have about this chapter or in the future. Outside of that, that wraps it up, and I'll catch you guys in my next video.